Hello everyone, welcome to the F2 teammate comparison video for 2024 F2 season so far. Let's get straight into the comparison of the two Premier boys, Antonelli and Behrman. So we can see it's quite even, but it leans a little bit towards Antonelli, with him having better performance in the races, better qualifying performance, and even sprint race performance. He also has way more points than Behrman. Also, on average, he qualifies almost 0.3 seconds faster than his older, more experienced teammate. That's quite impressive. Both of the drivers have 0 wins and 0 podiums, so all even there. Moving on to the two Rodin drivers of Mietta and Maloney, and it's sheer domination by Maloney, with 3 beating his teammate in the races, 3 lots of qualifying performance out-qualifying his teammate, and 2 sprint race dominations over Mietta. Points, similar story, 62 points for Maloney and only 16 for Mietta. Mietta really needs to step it up coming into the races in Europe. We look at the average qualifying margin, so we can see that on average, Maloney is almost 0.4 of a second quicker in qualifying than his teammate. That's a lot in F2. That's a lot. And also that's a big margin. I think it's one of the biggest margins between teammates in the whole series. And it's the same story as well with wins and podiums, with Maloney having 2 wins and 3 podiums. The two Red Bull Campos boys in next with Marti and Hadjar, and we can see it's kind of in favour of Hadjar overall, apart from those podium finishes which Marti got. We can see that Hadjar's beaten Marti in 2 out of 3 races, qualifying and sprint races, also getting 8 more points than his teammates so far in the season. I think this is one of the most competitive duos in terms of performance, in terms of they're both scoring points week in, week out, and also how even it is, because a lot of these other teams, they have a one blowout driver and the other one's kind of middling, but this team has 2 solid drivers that are constantly performing. The average qualifying margin as well reinforces that, with only a 0.17 difference in average on qualifying between the 2 drivers. Obviously Hadjar has his win from Australia last weekend, whereas Marti has those 2 podiums he got in the first 2 races of the season. Now we have the 2 AIT guys with O'Sullivan and Martins. This one is also quite even, and I think that is indicative of the poor performance so far Martins has had, with not scoring any points until the last weekend in Australia. So I think O'Sullivan will be hoping he can kind of continue this trend. I think O'Sullivan would have hoped for a bigger gap by this point, given the bad luck of Martins, but I'm sure he'll try and continue this gap he's built throughout the rest of the season. You can see he's got 1 race result better than Martins, and that's one where he scored lots of points from. An even quality performance, with Martin showing both sprint and feature races that he's a little bit better. Points though, O'Sullivan beats Martins out by a little bit, but as I said, there was a lot of races where Martins DNF'd and didn't score points, so hopefully he can score points in the future. And neither driver have any wins or podiums so far, but I'm sure that will change soon. Now moving on to the 2 Tams boys, it's a similar story with the Rodin team. The annihilation from Crawford over Correa. Correa has yet to score a point this season, and we can see both in the races, in qualifying and the sprint races, Crawford comes out on top by far. Similar to points, with Crawford scoring 26 points to Correa's 0. The gap though in qualifying is smaller than you would expect, with only a 0.3-ish second gap between them in qualifying on average, which is not too bad honestly. And then Crawford's 1 podium puts him above Correa's none, and both drivers have yet to score a feature race win or a sprint race win. Now we have the Invicta duo, and from the first race, this looked like it was going to be a very tight battle, but since then, Miney's showed consistency and great speed, which kind of pushes him over the edge from Bortoleto. So he's got 2 race victories over his teammate, but qualifying's been even. He also maintained his race kind of streak over in the sprint races, which has allowed him to score more points, with 33 points compared to Bortoleto's 15. The average qualifying margin similar to the last one guys we had, with a 0.3 second difference, so a little bit more than I was expecting personally. I thought they'd be very close because they both qualified well in recent weeks. Wins, both drivers yet to score any wins this season. I'm sure that will change very soon. And podiums, Miney's 2 podiums, which he got recently, propel him above Bortoleto. And now we have another one of these dominating stories, with Hauger outshining Colapinto in every aspect. 2 race victories over his teammate, 3 better qualifying sessions, 3 better sprint races, 41 points compared to 13, an average qualifying of 0.7 almost. That's the second best and one of the most by 2 solo drivers. Hauger's win puts him above Colapinto, and his 3 podiums, which is a great tally, also puts him above the 0 from Colapinto. Now we have the VAR team with 1 solo driver and 1 rookie, so I think we can kind of expect this to happen, with Fittipaldi outshining and outperforming his younger teammate Villagomez. Although Villagomez has performed better on 2 out of the 3 races, but the rest of it has all gone one-way traffic. With Fittipaldi having better sprint races, more points scored with 32 points compared to Villagomez's 8, and an average qualifying very, very close, 0.058. That's actually quite impressive by Villagomez, keeping up with his more experienced teammate so far. Both drivers have 0 wins so far, but Fittipaldi does have those 2 podiums which he achieved earlier in the season, which makes him go above his teammate. Now we have the hijack guys, and Aaron's come in and shown he's a great driver. 2nd in the championship so far, and it shows in the stats. 2 race dominations over his teammate, 2 quad dominations over his teammate, 2 sprint race dominations over his teammate. He is class. And then he also almost has 5 times the amount of points as Cordelia. Neither driver has any wins yet, but Aaron does have 3 podiums, which is very good, and I think ranked 2nd among all drivers. He's one to watch out for this season. Aaron also has the biggest qualifying gap, with more than a second over his teammate, but a lot of that comes from the Australian Grand Prix, where Cordelia was out of it completely. I don't know what he was up to. Then we have the 2nd to last team of Trident, with Vachor and Stanek. Quite a close battle as well, with a lot of swinging between them. So even though Stanek has a win and a podium more than Vachor, Vachor has 12 points, 2 more than Stanek. And I think that's from some solo performances, just getting in and around those lower points run figures more consistently. The average qualifying margin for the Trident boys, however, 0.3. I think the 0.3 is very common in F2, and it kind of shows the better teammate almost, because qualifying is where you can really show your raw pace. And in the back of the grid, these drivers are very, very even because their car is very bad. Neither driver has a win, podium, or any points so far, and that kind of means it's kind of the only thing you can really show off is average qualifying margin, which puts Barnard as the better driver. I think that this is expected, so well done Barnard. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you like this kind of video. Peace.